like he's one of my favorites. He's not my personal all-time favorite. My personal all-time favorite is probably still Anderson. Um, which is why I wish he would fucking retire. Cause god damn it, I'm tired of seeing him losing. Shit. But okay, excuse me. See, this is exactly what I said. Parental advisory. I'm gonna curse a lot, but I feel like he could do well at 145, take that belt, and then just add that to his legacy. Be the quad C, be quad C. You know what I mean? So like he could just have like a freaking like a gold necklace with fours on them or some shit, which would be dope. But if this is his last time, thank you, Henry Cejudo, for all the dope fights. Thank you for changing the game for the short fighters, man. Like, thank you for changing the game. I mean, I would say like one of the pioneers for the little guy, Matt Serra, years ago. I mean, he took out GSP when the upset, still probably one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. And then now you have Triple C coming in here, beating Demetrius Johnson when Demetrius Johnson was Demetrius motherfucking Johnson, when he was the GOAT, when he was the absolute best, when no one was touching him. Took him out and then just went on a tear, then beat Marlon Moraes at another weight class, like, and just kept racking up those wins after wins after wins. And I'm so happy that if he is done, that he ended his career on this note, because a large majority of fighters, more often than not, I've yet to see you rarely ever see a fighter that ends on top. Like, it's very rare. Like, even like Michael Bisping, like, he won the title, beat Dan Henderson, and then lost to GSP, lost to Kelvin Gastelum, and then had to retire because his eyes were so messed up he had potentially could go blind. I hate to see stuff like that. Like, if he would have won the title, beat Henderson, retired, that is a perfect send off. You won your title, you avenged like your most vicious knockout in your career. I would be happy, man. I would definitely be happy. But if Triple C is done, I am so glad that the King of Cringe blessed us with so much, man. Blessed us with fun, and it's just like it's you can hate on him, but it's hard to hate on him just because he's so damn good. Number one, and number two is just he's doing this for the people. You know what I mean? Like, and I can respect that. Like, of course he wants to get those big checks, and I know he mentioned that Dana, if like you know my amount, I'll come back for whatever fight, and you know my amount, but he's like you said, he's done all that he could do. The first UFC champion to ever, or to the first Olympic champion to ever win a UFC title. Then he becomes the first Olympic champion to ever win 2 UFC titles. Like, the guy that ended Demetrius Johnson's streak when he was at his absolute height, man. That might never be done again. It might never be done again. So definitely big props to Henry Cejudo, man. A retirement, jeez, I can't even talk. A retirement well deserved. And if you are riding off into the sunset, man, I hope your life is filled with great things in the near future. And I know that you're gonna change the game in another amazing way. That doesn't even have to do with throwing your hands. And the main event, the Bruce Buffer, the main event of the evening. I love Bruce Buffer, man. I mean, like, it's like he's the GOAT. He's a GOAT. But Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson, and I did pick Justin for the upset. And I am not gonna lie, I was so impressed by Justin. I thought it was gonna be like, if he was gonna get him, he was gonna get him probably second round knockout, or Tony was gonna just push that pace on him and take him out in the later rounds. But man, Justin just would, like, Tony wouldn't go away either until like the latter rounds. He did get TKO'd, but Justin was just staying there, man. And the one thing I want to touch on in Justin Gaethje's case is the coach and fighter dynamic. And one of the important things about being a good coach, you have to understand when to boost your fighter to like all heights, and not when to tear your fighter down, but when to kick them in the ass. Like, you need to be like, look, you need to get your shit together. And a prime example of that was end of round 4, going into round 5, and Justin sits on the chair and he's smiling, he's grinning, he's laughing, joking, all this shit. And the coach says, hey, look at me. The last time you got too excited, you got stopped. And Justin calms down, the smile goes away from his face, And he said, "Yeah, I got stopped twice because I got stopped 2 different times in my career because I got overexcited." And it's something that small, which it's a huge thing, but that small instance puts you in the I guess puts you in a different mindset to understand. Okay, I really need to I really need to refocus because this is a one of my toughest challenges of my career, but and b a position that I probably could have been in multiple times before, but I messed it up because of my own arrogance. And he just calmed down, stayed focused, and kept repeating what he did those other 4 rounds. And he was tagging Tony, and that's for real talk though. That's the beauty of having no fans, because you could hear. I mean, you would just boo, boo, just every time he was cracking Tony, you felt it through the screen. Like that was as close. Like it's like HD, like virtual fighting. Like if I had like a freaking VR headset on and I like just let him punch me, that's how hard those punches like sounded. Like you could feel them through your TV. And I mean, Tony took it like a champ. I mean, he's called El Cucuy for a reason, but damn, Justin looked ridiculous. It was like every time Tony threw a jab, threw something, Justin was coming back with force. I mean, he did have to taper it off a little bit because he was wasting a lot of energy in like the first 2 rounds, just throwing haymakers. But man, every shot was on the money. And then that 5th round, he just started sticking them. He doesn't like Justin doesn't jab a lot, but in that 5th round, he was just finding that jab, just boom, 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 and then hit him with that last jab, and you could tell Tony was done. I mean, of course he was upset that he lost, but when he got hit like that, like the lights were just going, like the lights were just were out. And I've been cracked like that in training before, where you just get hit with a shot flush and you're trying to shake the cobwebs off and still fight, and it's like shit's just not working right. It's like you're trying to shake it out, you're trying to like see where the person is. There's multiple people, like like one person becomes multiple people, and you're like, fuck. All right, where is the center person? Let me just aim for the center. Let me shake these cobwebs out so I can get back to fighting. And it was just too late. And props to Herb Dean. I mean, one of the legends. Now that John McCarthy is not reffing, definitely the best referee right now. I mean, even when John McCarthy was refereeing, he was still one of the best. They were like probably top 2 or whatever. And he stopped it because he could tell like Tony was on Dream Street. He was out on his feet. And at the end of the day, as a ref, you got to look out for the fighters. But damn, Justin Gaethje looked good. Looked hungry, man. He looked hungry, but he looked composed. He had that composed hunger. A lot of times you'll see guys that are hungry, that are just going out there guns blazing. Like the prime example of that would be Kamaru Usman round 4 against Woodley. When he rocked him and he just starts throwing. Whoa, 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 whoa. He's just throwing every fucking thing he has at this dude. And he ends up tiring himself out, and he like thankfully was able to get the takedown. But that could have easily changed. Like if Tyron was able to just like sneak in with a counter punch and knock him down, or just catch him slipping, could have knocked him out for that. So he was composed hunger. He wanted it bad. You could tell in his face that he wanted it bad, but he was waiting, picking his shots perfectly, and cracking Tony Ferguson. But again, props to Tony, because most fighters would have went to sleep. Like most fighters would have went to sleep after taking as many hits as he took against Justin Gaethje. And even him, he didn't even go to sleep. He was still standing when Herb stopped the fight. It was a technical knockout. But he was on Dream Street, man. That last jab, it was it, man. It was done. I mean, if he would have kept going, he could have did some serious damage to himself. And hell, who knows? I mean, some serious damage may have occurred because he took a ton of power shots. But wow, UFC, thank you for having this card. Thank you for putting it on in such a great way, testing everyone. Sad to see that Jacare got the virus, but happy that you guys were able to test everyone, multiple tests. I think they were testing from the time they got off the plane to the hotel to the arena after they fought. Like they were testing so much. They were testing the staff. Dana got tested. Everyone was getting tested. So big shouts out to them. So they really laid the blueprint on just on how to do it right. And can't wait to see their next events. I know that they have an event coming on Wednesday, I believe. So I'm definitely going to be tuning in on that. Probably going to add that to the Friday's episode. So man, just big shouts out to them, man. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see Justin Gaethje versus Khabib, because that's definitely the next title fight in the lightweight division. So big things happening in the UFC, man. Much love. Damn, this video got, I mean, not video, but this recording is mad long, 25 minutes. But with that being said, I'm International Sensei. This is the Enter the Dojo podcast, where I talk about all things fighting related, combat sports, obviously, and fighting games. UFC 249 was a damn good card. Big shout out to all the winners. Big shout out to everyone that was there and made sure that event went smoothly. And I cannot wait to see the next UFC event coming on Wednesday. Much love to everybody. Please follow me on Twitter at Sensei_Global21, SoundCloud, International Sensei, the Enter the Dojo podcast, Spreaker, the Enter the Dojo, the Enter the Dojo podcast, iTunes, the Enter the Dojo podcast, YouTube, International_Sensei, all that good stuff, man. I appreciate everyone for listening, those that have. And now we must, unfortunately, exit the dojo. Us.